Hey, bestie.
What's up, girl?
Hey, does anyone ever ask you, like, oh, I heard you do a podcast. What's that witty and gritty podcast all about?
Yeah, okay, so I usually spit out this robotic sentence that's, we help hardworking Christian women get the growth they want by giving them the tools they need in order to have more joyful and fulfilling lives. So that's usually what I say, but I'm also monotone. Y'all know this. And so it's just like, wah, wah, wah. So Farron, what does that mean?
Yes, well, my response is not as fancy, even though I've heard you say that. Lots of times I should know by now. But essentially I explain that we help people grow in their Christian lives, and through their growth, then they can better fulfill God's calling on their life.
Right, so we're book study experts, and we know how to analyze, pull apart, and take that through the Christian lens, and that's kind of what we do here.
And so then sometimes people are like, yeah, you're self-help books, and they might be mainstream, but we are always sure to bring it back to God and the biblical view.
Right, so whether you see a secular book or something that a Christian author's written, just know that when you come here, you're going to get it through a biblical lens.
And not just ours. I like that we incorporate interviews by people living out the principles.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So that's your little bonus if you stick around through the series, which I hope you will.
Yay! Here we go! Episode 153 of How to Win Friends and Influence People in the Digital Age.
Don't forget, part 1.
Yes, we are wrapping up part 1, which is the essentials of engagement. So we covered bury your boomerangs, affirm what's good, and now we're talking about the third section.
Yes, the third chapter is titled Connect with Core Desires.
I like this one for a lot of reasons, and this is also like the one you might not think about or have in the forefront of your mind, but if you don't find a way to connect to someone else, you're not going to have any ground to stand on.
You know why I think this one captures my attention?
Why?
Because
tell me why.
As a 9, I will not tell you why. I will, like, if you're trying to sell me, like, if you don't know me and we meet and you're trying to find my core desire, good luck. So, on the first meeting, but then, like, once we get to know each other, it's fine. But if someone says something that happens to resonate with my core desire, I am, like, in it because they didn't know. Mm-hmm. So, kudos to them.
Yes.
Yeah.
I liked this chapter a lot, especially if you have a spouse who either works a lot or you have kids or teenagers who are involved in some sort of video game. You have no idea what's going on. If you can find a way to either not necessarily get all into what they're into, but man, if you can learn the name of the game or the point of the game or the coach's name, the teacher's name. If they're having a hard time in math class, look up the teacher. Maybe look up what they're doing in class at the moment. Find a way to get involved beyond, like, how was math? It was fine. Okay, bye. Mm-hmm. Especially if it's something that's really exciting to them or really hard for them, I think it's important to find a way to at least sort of try to understand better. Or say, hey, I'm trying to understand this better. Can you help me?
Yeah.
Or if one day you're like, man, I really want to know what this video game's about. You want to play? Like, what? Yeah.
So, again, I don't feel like this is manipulation. It's just habit stacking. But my kids are, my older two are old enough to play like on a computer, and they go to like ABC Y'all or whatever, but they love it. And I'm like, okay, cool, we can love that. But they want to play so bad because they get very limited time and only a couple days a week. So I was like, I would love for the rooms to be clean, but like if you go clean up one thing, it can make your room look a whole lot better.
Yes.
I would love for their beds to be made.
Yeah.
And I've recently, as someone born in the 1900s, started making my bed every day. And my goodness.
It's great, isn't it?
I wish I would have started sooner. But now, know better, do better. So, anywho, I just say, you can as soon as your bed's made. Guess what happens now? They come down and say, Mom, I made my bed. Can I get on the computer? Oh, and then what if I say no? It's already.
I'm going to go mess up my bed.
It hasn't happened yet.
Well, but then you just add another thing. Make your bed and...
Oh, well, I might have already done that.
Okay, good. What's the next thing they have to do?
Dirty clothes. One of my kids will it does get to a point where it bothers her and she'll do it. The other, it'd be like an episode of Hoarders, and we would just
The
walk
floor is
over
a
it.
giant shelf.
We would just walk over it. Yeah. But the problem is then she can't find her, you know what's made a comeback?
What?
Polly Pockets.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My girls love those.
She's like, they're lost, they're gone, I'm never going to see them again, boo-hoo crying. Picked up her dirty clothes, guess what? Found them all.
Oh, yeah. That's amazing. Look at God.
So yeah, we'll see. I'll let you know what I add next. But hey, it gets done fast.
I like that. So if we're finding a way to connect to fellow Christians, the common ground would be wanting to be a growing Christian. So even if if you started a new group, if you're doing CG or whatever, home group, life group, whatever you call it, having that common ground is going to be the basis in which you operate through whatever the struggle or situation is. Mm-hmm. So that helps for also problem solving. If you're a person who is married to a non-believer, you should start pointing them to Christ if you haven't yet, and then develop that common ground over the time. But if you are married and y'all are both believers, that should be the basis of all the major decision making, even the minor decision making, all of the decision making.
Everyone gets included. Yes. I like how he says that influence requires more intuition than intellect.
Yes. Again, not a smarts thing.
Yeah, and so that's going to be a lot of what we elaborate on here in the next couple pages. But he tells the story of a guy that always got offered jobs after all his interviews, and he recognizes that he might not have been the most qualified, but he had the intuition to be a good listener, and that's what people want. Mm-hmm. They want, and here's how I translated it, they want someone who's coachable.
Yes.
And I've heard this on the interview side of things when I've been on a team interviewing people and as a player, that coaches and leaders we can get you training on the skills.
Right.
But we want someone who's coachable.
And who wants to want it.
Yeah. And so that's, to me, that connecting with the core desire, it communicates the want to be here.
Yeah.
The want to improve the team or the company or help, succeed and reach goals. So, yeah, being coachable is one thing that I picked up here in this chapter.
For sure. There's a quote that says, action springs from whatever we fundamentally desire. And that's also from you can't serve two masters. That's from the Bible. So again, whether it's in the work aspect or the home or your Christian walk, whatever it is, what is that core desire that you're trying to do? And who can we get on board with that to help you there?
Yeah. If your core desire is to work as little as possible.
What will you soon surround yourself with?
Yeah. And vice
People
versa.
who don't like to work hard.
But I sometimes think that the people that want to not work so hard also want to move up in the ranks. And it's like, but...
You can't serve two masters.
Yeah. Exactly what Brooke said.
You can't listening. You can't... Oh, God said... Quote God.
Brooke said that God said.
Brooke said that God said.
Yes.
Man, that just goes with peer mediation or couple goals or... friend goals, business goals, any kind of goals, y'all need to be on the same page. Otherwise, you're just wandering around, not working towards the common, whatever it is you're trying to do.
Absolutely. There is something here that I maybe you can steer me more straight on, but it says that it requires spontaneous ability to read beneath the surface of an interaction. And I feel like that's a skill that a lot of women have. But, not all men, but most men remind us women that they are not, in fact, mind readers. Yep. See, I bet other people said it at the same time as you. Yeah. But I think we just have more awareness of feelings, and they have awareness of, but what were the words you said?
Yes.
Like you mentioned earlier. They're like, but you said you didn't really care if I got you anything for Valentine's Day. And you're like... But I also was like, well, look at this bracelet. Wouldn't it be fun to go here? Da-da-da-da-da. So,
right.
Anywho.
But I love you every day.
Every day is Valentine's Day.
Do we go on dates every day? No?
We're not bitter. No one's bitter.
Goodness, this is
a hypothetical situation.
Oh, man. Okay, there's there are 2 columns on one of these pages, and it's really cool how just the difference when you try to connect or have a conversation with someone. I know sometimes if you're introverted and you're walking into a new place, you don't really want to, that just might not be your jam, to go and just strike up a conversation.
Quit talking about me in front of my face.
I'm not. But if it just lays it out very easily for you. So instead of monologuing, you just talking, have a dialogue. So that's even just like one step. Engaging in conversation 101. Conceited, so talking about things that you're interested in versus being considerate and talking about what they like. Or if you're like, if this person is really into Star Wars and you don't know much about Star Wars, you could just pose a question like, okay, let's say you have to give me a 2-minute recap of all of Star Wars. Go. And then that'll be fun for them. And then you also get the recap on Star Wars. And then you can go from there.
Yeah. I like out of this list the interested in meeting needs.
Yes.
And in the other column, which would not be as influential, is interested in making money.
Or whatever it is
Yeah.
that you're trying to accomplish
Yeah.
out of the relationship.
I think I've said it before. I think, like, maybe I haven't. Maybe I shouldn't. Do you guys want to hear it?
Yeah, tell us.
I'm not going to. Okay, I will. I think, like, as a teacher, I worked a lot, but I think there were times I would have done it for free. And so it's kind of been weird stepping out of a public education setting and not having a monthly paycheck, because then I'm like, oh, wait, you do have to work to get the money. And so, anyways, I just think I was always interested in meeting that need. Not necessarily the quote where it's like, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. Mm-hmm. I worked.
Yeah.
All the teachers are like, absolutely, yes, we worked. It was hard. But I think what kept me driven, what was influential, was making a difference for the kids. So.
Yeah. What's that bigger picture that's not self-focused?
Yeah.
And focus on that. And that will, in turn, build trust and transparency and growth in the relationship, which is great. It is great. Okay, so on the side, I wrote down life audit, and I know we talk about time audits and all kinds of self-audits that we do that help us grow. This one says, an honest inventory of your impact is usually enough. Have your employees really stepped it up, or do they remain in a cycle of fits? So employees could also be like your children, your spouse. So like, how is that working out for you? What you're doing right now, is that, which trajectory are we going in? Are we doing better of connecting with others? I know Morgan's the type of guy who, he works all day. He doesn't want to come home and talk about work. I get it. Some people like to come home and watch reality shows. Theron. I'm like, I can't watch any more reality shows. I'm too into my reality right now. I can't watch other people. So that's just me. So, and that's how Morgan is too. So we connect on that kind of level. But then I've found other ways to get to know his work without being like, how many sales did you make? Like, I don't know. So just, what'd you do? Who'd you get to hang out with today? Anything cool happen? Or did you have a good meeting? Was it fun? Whatever. So those kinds of questions have helped, because I don't necessarily care about flooring. So, hey, how's the hardwood floor business going? Like, that's not gonna help us connect at all. But if I talk about like the relationships and what it means to him, that's gonna go further.
Yeah. I like what you said about an individual audit. And so if you are a leader of a business and you want to change the trajectory of your business, are you good?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Was that going to be a sneeze or a
It was almost.
Okay. I just was like staring at you.
Could be anything.
Okay. If you're doing a self-audit on your business because you want to change that trajectory, he talks about starting at the spiritual level. And that might sound maybe hippie-like, if you will. But I heard on Ed Mylett, another great podcast to listen to after you listen to ours. But he was talking about how he hears a lot in the business world that people coming out of college and applying for jobs, they want jobs where they're having some type of influential impact on the greater good. And so there's another piece of evidence that aligns with this book, but maybe from a business standpoint, you need to go back and say, what are our core beliefs? What are our values? And then if those need updating, and offering some time with your employees to talk about how they can contribute in those areas. But you got to align it with that core desire too. So don't forget that one. But there's ways to bridge those gaps. And then if those are in place, don't be surprised if that trajectory takes off.
Yeah, and to tie that back to the family aspect, there are lots of resources out there to come up with like your family phrase, your family goals, your family motto. And so, I mean, ours, I've seen a lot. It's like, in this house, we blah, 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 and it has all these things. But we talk about at our house the call your crew and what kind of that embodies, and teamwork, or if Scout and Sloan are trying to figure something out, I'm like, yeah, that's the call your crew, teamwork right there, figuring it out together. Or I'll just name it that. That way they can start kind of realizing what all it encompasses.
Yeah, we definitely have the same or similar motto. Ours is the root crew.
Yes, yes.
So, I like the crew.
Yeah.
You're the crew across town.
Right. I got you.
But ours is like, teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah.
Because no one wants to put the dishes away, but if we all do it at the same time, it takes like 30 seconds.
Yes.
And so, like, we'll just teamwork stuff, and it doesn't happen overnight. But nowadays, if I'm like, hey, I need some teamwork to get the clothes off the couch. They're clean, they're folded, let's get them off the couch. Mm-hmm. And it's just a knee-jerk reaction because they've seen so many times that it really does take just a matter of moments when we all do it simultaneously.
Yeah.
The backfire thing is they want me to do everything with them now because it goes faster.
Teamwork, Karen.
Yes,
Teamwork
it's that boomerang again.
It's getting you.
They're like, I'll clean my room. Will you come help me? And it's like, no. So then I'm always cleaning like my room. I'm like, you know what? I need to clean my room too. So teamwork.
Everyone's cleaning the rooms.
Mine.
Side note, your room's already clean. Boom.
I just hide in there and watch my trashy shows.
Your reality shows.
You said that, and it kind of made me sad because
I'm sorry.
I haven't got to do it in a while. Like, I'm not sad that I enjoy those occasionally, but it's been a while. Maybe that's a good thing.
Well, you watch that treasure hunting thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's my favorite one to fall asleep to. Is
There you
what I told Jacob.
Whatever works for
Anytime
you.
it comes on, I'm like, oh yes, I love falling asleep to this show.
I guess the more challenging part about this, about the whole connecting and engaging there, is no days off. You don't get days off. Or if you do, it's going to start pulling in a direction you don't want to pull in. I was talking to my mom. It's like, man, reading their books with them every night, that's a lot. And read the Bible, and brush your teeth, and get the clothes up for the, and. It's a lot.
I don't feel like we've said that in a while. So if you're new around here, I really don't like the bedtime routine. I don't.
It's a lot.
One thing that changed, and I try to fake it till I make it, but someone did a study and they said like the first 5 minutes that you see your kids and the last 5 minutes you see your kids, that's kind of what they'll remember. Like, you could have had a blow up in the middle of the day, but if you end those 5 minutes like on a really good note, then that helps. And same thing, you see them in the morning, but then when you see them for the first 5 minutes when they come home from school or whatever. So being intentional in those time periods. But I really don't like the bedtime routine. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
I can't stand it. And they know. I feel like they know. They know my core desire is for them to just go to bed.
So that you can go to bed, too.
Yeah. I saw this meme, too, that was like, why is it that the people that want to go to bed have to put the people that don't want to go to bed to bed?
Yeah. Oh, that's really funny. Oh, man. Okay. So I think we both kind of have the same stuff highlighted at the very end. Something I was going to say about it is, you know how you don't have days off, or if you're trying to audit yourself, kind of see where you're tracking. I thought it would be interesting if everyone goes and looks at their either Instagram profile or Facebook profile and scroll back and what have you said to the world in the last 1 month, 6 months, 12 years, 12 months. What if someone just took a snapshot of what you posted just the last month? What kind of person is that saying you are?
Kids, 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 recipe, kids, scripture quote, kids, recipe, soccer, 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 soccer.
There you go. So it's interesting and how, like, that's the message we're putting out, we're sending out. So what is that saying about you? And is that ultimately tying back to who you want to be / project who you want to be, but obviously who is that person? Hopefully someone pointing others to Jesus. But yeah.
That's what I was going to say.
Oh, really?
No.
The end.
I underlined that we only move toward what moves us.
Ooh.
Not my words. I wish they
Dale
were.
Carnegie.
We only move toward what moves us.
Yeah.
So if you want to be an influencer or have an everlasting impact, make big moves and big change in the world, then you got to figure out what moves people.
Yeah. Very good. Wow. Okay. So that covers part 1 of how to win friends and influence people in the digital age. We talked about burying your boomerangs, affirming what is good, and then this chapter, which was what? Connect with core desires.
Oh, okay.
Great. So tune in next week. We're going to start with part 2. Part 1 of part 2.
Part 2, chapter 1.
Yes.
Okay, bye.
We're really good at segues. And sound effects, right?
Yes, so that's the end of our episode, but if you find yourself wanting more, and who could blame you, Brooke, tell them where they can find us Monday through Friday.
We have a lovely website. It's wittyandgritty.blog. You can go there. It has every mini-series ever we've done. What about the socials, Farron?
Yes, we are on Instagram and Facebook primarily, but we do also have a Pinterest account, so be sure to follow us on your favorite social platform.
Yeah. Oh, also, fun fact, we release episodes every Wednesday, so you can count on us.
Be sure to subscribe, that way you don't have to go and find it every week.
Yeah, it'll just automatically do the magic computery thingy.
Thank you, technology.
Go
Thank you.
Technologies and Instagrams.
Yes. All right, we'll catch you next week, guys. Bye.